Hey guys, Stock Saturday, and it's another red week, down about 6,000 this week. For once in here, it's not Argo, it's the gold and silver miners and sort of base metal miners. Argo actually holding up quite well. But so there's discussion of the FOMC meeting on the 3rd and 4th of May in 2 weeks, being a 0.5% interest rate rise now. So that's sort of spooking everyone a little. US inflation numbers were 8.5%, up from 7.5%. So yeah, there's a little bit of fear in the market. So a lot of stuff is down. So considering sort of looking at Argo blockchain again and sort of possibly selling off some of the gold and silver miners, because gold has held up quite well. So companies like Sandstorm, which are sort of largely focused on gold, are sort of doing pretty well. And Argo are sort of getting very, very close to the summer new Texas facility opening. So yeah, I'm going to be sort of doing some calculations. I might release a video on Monday on Argo and just see where we are. But I might wait until the FOMC meeting and see if we do get 0.5% rise. But we'll see. So just looking at Trading212, the ISA has done pretty well. It's down about 600 quid. The ARCPI is down 44.75% now. The REITs have been sort of helping me out, as they often do, with the red times, which is quite nice. American Tower up 2.3%. It's pretty good. So Argo actually shoe flat on the HL app, but it's down a little this week. No worries there. Sentiment, even sort of, as I say, gold and silver took a bit of a knock. Nearly went up to $2,000, sort of tail end of last week, and has come down again. So not too good for them. Digital Realty up 3%, as I say. First Majestic, yeah. So silver came off about 10% this week. So 17.8% on First Majestic, as expected. It's always going to be a leverage move of the real metal price. Realty doing quite well, just 1% or 2%. Stag up 2%, so in the red weeks, that's good. Sylvania not quite so well. Both Tritaxes are up, even Tritax Eurobox 3% and Vici 2%. So yeah, really happy with the REITs. They do provide a bit of diversification, especially when things are going down. And looking at some of the moves in the invest account, so that's down 2,000. Not the end of the world. Yeah, some various sort of drops of different scales. The tech stocks have not taken this news well at all. So 0.5% rise on the interest rates is not going to benefit them at all. Apple slightly down, but the others are worse. Barrett, not too bad, up on the week. Bristol Myers Squibb, yeah. So there's not too many moves from companies like that. Even Broadcom actually 2% up. But yes, Glencore. So my moves previously, selling out of International Paper and ASOS. Well, that's a mixed bag really. ASOS is down, but International Paper is up slightly. And the miners that I bought, looks like I did sort of buy a little bit too high. I was sort of buying the future, and sort of I knew that this could possibly come. I said when I was buying them, they were at high valuation, and we would see where they went sort of longer term, but there was always sort of possibility of short-term news, talks of recessions and all that. Base metals are always going to be hit, or the stocks are. The actual underlying metals look pretty good. Copper's down slightly, but zinc is up. Natural gas, sort of, they have a fair bit of natural gas, that's down. But yeah, nothing to sort of cause huge drops like this, but yeah, they sell off. Himax 4.5% down again. Looking at other stocks, looking at potentially sort of Airtel Africa and that sort of thing. My sort of less high conviction positions, and sort of thinking whether I should take a bit of profit and put it into companies like Himax. With the chip shortage, they're not doing too well. Intel, a couple of percent up, not too bad. Johnson & Johnson is really one that I'm starting to have to question whether I hold on to now. Sort of forward PE of 17 with other stocks down. I mean, you can almost get Google for that. That's close to, I think it probably is roughly at 20 now. So 20 for them, 17 for Johnson & Johnson. You've got to ask yourself who's going to grow more. So yeah, 23% up on that. I am considering selling that off. Legal & General, they've had quite a big ex-dividend date, so that's just a drop of that largely. Nothing to worry about there. Lennar, pretty flat for the week, which is good. Meta Platforms, one of the worst of the FANGs. Obviously, people expecting their earnings results are next week, so people are expecting something bad, I guess, and sort of pre-selling out of that. Don't know whether they will have bounced back just yet. I think this is going to be a longer road as they sort of ramp up the metaverse investment and sort of see if anything can come of that, because there's sort of a lot of talk of the main business still lagging a little, sort of getting beaten by TikTok and sort of various other platforms, and just sort of slowing growth, but still makes a hell of a lot of money. It's one people love to hate, I think. Or hate to love, rather. Micron, just down slightly, nothing too much there. Nintendo, for once, not bucking the trend. That's down a little with everything else, but looks fine here. Process, yeah, 10 cents down, so no surprise. Process coming down. Porsche not doing too bad. Even Renault starting to come back a little bit. They're sort of heavily exposed to Russia. One of the most exposed car manufacturers to Russia, so still took a large hit, but yeah, sort of considering even where they are now, I mean, they've got an appalling balance sheet, so yeah, I am considering just taking the loss on that and putting it into Stellantis. Rio Tinto, as I say, this seems quite odd really, because they're I could sort of understand Glencore, but the iron ore price has barely moved, so I think this is just sort of poor sentiment on the stock really. Rio sort of obviously got a little bit of copper, a little bit of aluminium, but yeah, surprising this. I should get a fair dividend from them. Dividend date was 2 days ago, so should be coming next week. Quite nice. I haven't checked how much it is. A couple £100, I think. Samsung, Sega down a little. Nothing to worry about there. Seneca Foods, starting to wonder on this, to be honest. Sort of obviously a small position. It's not really going to do anything great, even if it does sort of rocket up. Just consolidating the holdings. I may sell that off and put it into something else. Shell, pretty flat for the week. Not too bad, I guess. So yeah, still doing well on the month. Siemens, yeah, not doing too much. Sony is down a fair bit. You see the yen is weakening again, up to sort of 128 yen to the dollar. It seems to be sort of what does move this sometimes. Obviously down sort of with the with the other tech stocks and sort of the chip shortage on the consoles and that sort of thing. There's a lot of factors that would sort of contribute to that coming down at the moment. Stellantis down 6.5%. They don't report quarterly earnings, so it's a bit difficult. The sort of second half of 2021 was really good, but that was pre-war, and they don't have a huge amount of exposure to the war. But yeah, I guess there's a bit of uncertainty as to sort of how well they're doing. I think they've got a production update coming next month, but yeah, that's not an earnings update. We just have to assume that they're making similar money, sort of similar margins, minus a little bit of inflation. So yeah, probably, as I say, considering moving Renault over to Stellantis if this carries on. TSMC down a little, $95 now. Taylor Wimpey, pretty flat for the week. Tesla, interesting one. So they had their earnings midweek, and you got a huge sort of shot up. Everyone was cheering, and then sort of even by the end of the day, it had come all the way back down to Tuesday's price pretty much, or even lower, and it sort of finished below Tuesday's price, but a couple of percent up on the week. So if it takes sort of the best earnings they could have had pretty much to be up 2% on the week, people are getting a little bearish. Turtle Beach down quite a bit. Tyson Foods pretty flat for the week, but did have a little bit of a spike up. As I say, not even though this is sort of a very green position, not looking to sell that one off just because it's rising with rising earnings. Vale, this seems a bit of an overreaction. I mean, sort of similar to Rio, they're very heavy on iron ore, which is sort of barely moved. A little bit of copper in there, but not a huge amount. And nickel, which hasn't dropped at all. So, a little bit surprised by that move. Another one that I bought in last week, so that's not gone well at all. But obviously, it was a gamble. I said in the video it was a little bit of a gamble because they had risen up quite a bit on still what I consider low valuations, but a higher valuation than they were. I was happy long term, but obviously you can get moves in the short term with Fed announcements and recession fears and all that sort of thing. So we'll see where we go. Looking forward to the maybe not looking forward to the Fed announcement in a couple of weeks. If we do get 0.5% interest rate rise, then probably expect this drop to continue. So, leave your thoughts in comments below and like and subscribe. See you soon.